Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous episode 177. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody.
Dane, Cody, and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever we like. Primarily video games. And actually, we haven't talked about barely any TV lately or movies.
Haven't seen anything as of late that I'm like, yeah, gotta like talk about that. It was great.
I've seen a few movies, but yeah.
We talked about Aliens a couple of weeks ago.
Last week?
2 weeks ago?
I think it was last episode. Was it?
No, it was the episode before.
I don't remember.
Anyways.
I saw Skyscraper on the weekend.
Huh.
With The Rock, but it just ain't worth talking about.
Ooh.
It was
Zinga.
fine. But we're going to get into some video game talk, my friend. If you've never been here before, we usually start the show with our BS section. Get into some what you've been playing. Talk about the news and stuff. And public service announcements. And, of course, our free for all section, which looks quite empty right now, but that could change as we go here. Just some update on my hard drive failure situation.
Oh, yeah, right. That whole thing.
From a couple weeks ago.
From the great hard drive catastrophe of 2018.
The great HD catastrophe in high def. Yeah, I got my replacement board that I sent out for that, my mechanical drive.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yay.
So that happened after the podcast, so I didn't talk about it last week. So if you missed it or have not listened to a few episodes, I had a power short fry some hard drives in my tower, my PC tower, a few weeks ago. And it was quite catastrophic in that I lost some hard drives, and most
Rick
importantly,
was pretty distraught.
Most importantly, my 2 terabyte document drive kicked the bucket, and I was a bad backup guy who hadn't backed up in a while. And I was missing some photos and stuff. And I found a guy or a site called Data Pro Recovery in Vancouver who fixes the boards on mechanical drives. I think on a bunch of different hard drives.
That's cool, man.
And it was a long shot, but it was $50 compared to like the $900 to get Seagate to recover the files.
Yep.
I sent him the board. He did a BIOS firmware like transfer to the new board, sent the board back. I installed it, put my hard drive in the cradle, turned it on, and it started spinning.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, whereas before it did nothing. So like there was no vibration, like it wasn't getting power. It was dead.
He didn't give you any indication of like what had happened to the board, did he?
No, I didn't ask him,
okay.
But I guess I could email him back. I'm pretty sure what I suspected, the short must have fried part of the power. I don't know. When the stuff I know from shorts, quite often when something shorts, it's always a voltage regulator seems to be the thing that goes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of times, yeah.
So anyway, it spun up and like, it's alive. But it didn't pop up right away. And I'm like, oh, okay. And like, I go into disk management and I'm like, oh, it sees something's there.
Do you want to initialize this disk?
Yeah, it wanted me to initialize it. And I'm like,
do I really want to initialize this disk?
Like, I don't know how I feel about that. And I'm like, I'm sure. I'm like, I could initialize it and I'm sure recovery software will find everything. But then that's going to be time consuming. So I didn't rush into anything. And then I was like, oh, I know what it is. It's probably the boot sector is like missing, or just it's not the right info because it's got a new board now, so something's missing there, right? So I started looking into how to repair the boot sector, and there was some stuff about going into command prompt and so forth and using some tools, but they were all like more for your boot drive, like boot sector, not just stuff for another hard drive. And this isn't a boot drive, so anyway, I was like, oh, what an idiot. I'm like, why don't I just go to Seagate's website? Like, all hard drive manufacturers have disk tools that they offer for free. So they had an app. They had a couple apps. They had one called C Tools, which scans and fixes errors on their brands of hard drives. And then they had another one that actually is even more intense. Like if you like don't even have drivers and your Windows can't see it, like it's a more intense software, but I didn't have to use that one. I just used the first one. And literally when I launched it, the hard drive just popped up in Windows.
Oh, I was just going to say because it looked for the drive, saw the drive, and there you go.
Yeah, I don't know what it did. I didn't get it to do anything. I didn't scan. And then when I did do a quick scan, it said everything was fine. And obviously everything was fine because it was showing up in Windows and there was all my files and everything was accessible and everything was working. So, no error. What's that? I immediately backed it up. I didn't even close the Seagate Tools app because I'm like, okay, I don't know if there's some mojo going on that this app made it work. So I didn't even close that window. I promptly plugged in another 2 terabyte hard drive and I just basically went drag and drop.
That's hilarious.
So then I made a copy of that hard drive and then I also promptly updated all the photos that were missing to Google Photos. So I have 100% physical copy and then I have the Google Drive or Google Photos backup as well. So worst case scenario, if my house burns down, all my photos are in the cloud.
Excellent.
So, yeah, that was pretty exciting. And then I was like kind of stressing. I'm like, well, should I keep running this drive or should I like go buy a hybrid drive to replace it? And then I'm like, I was like, you know what? $50. I brought it back to life. It's a new drive. There's nothing wrong with it. Like there was no bad sectors when I ran their disk tool on it. So I'm like, I'm sure it's just fine.
Sweet, man.
I'm just running it in my PC again, just like it was never gone.
That's awesome.
And then my other drives that were RMA'd, I think, should be shipping soon.
Very cool.
Actually, it's kind of cool. They're like, we don't have the drives that you RMA'd, so we're going to give you the upgraded version. I'm like, sure. I don't know.
Those are SSDs, right?
Yeah. The other ones were just, I don't know.
That's sweet, though, because you'll probably get newer, faster drives.
They're 3D. Like, they're all what's this? Some new
3D
gimmick?
NAND.
Yeah. I guess the old ones were not 3D NAND, and now they're 3D NAND.
Yeah.
I don't know. From the read speeds, it didn't look like it was much.
I was just going to say, when it comes to, like, full-size SSDs, they're all kind of like hitting the limit of the SATA interface anyways.
Yeah, it's like 560 they were saying. Right, plus or minus.
Yeah. It's not until you start diving back into like M.2 drives and NVMe and all that fun stuff where the speeds start to up into the stratosphere.
Yeah. Or put them into a RAID.
Yep. So
good news. That worked. So if you guys ever have any hard drive issues similar to that, where it's not physical and it doesn't power on, for $50, it might be a good gamble to bring everything back to life.
Yeah, have to remember that for work, just in case.
Yeah, they're in your neck of the woods. So
usually stuff at work is like you hear the like platters starting to go and you hear the hard drives clicking away and stuff like that.
Yeah, he does other stuff as well. Like he has a whole YouTube channel with videos that cover clicking of certain brands of hard drives and stuff like that. And that's usually when stuff's physically starting to go wrong at that point.
Yeah, you gotta like crack them open.
So I don't know if he pulls stuff off of them and does more in-depth data recovery, but he might.
Yeah. It doesn't happen too often. We're usually pretty good about making sure that things get replaced.
Yeah. Besides that, I worked the weekend. I played a bunch of video games since we last talked. Well, not a bunch. Yay. A bunch more of the ones that we already know we've been playing.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't really have anything exciting to report besides that update. Did you have any fun stories to share?
No.
All right. I guess with that, we can get into what you've been playing.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing lots of Destiny because I'm an idiot.
What the fuck, dude? You have all these video games you're telling me about. You've got Black Ops 4. You got Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You got Red Dead coming out in a week. You've got
Tomb Raider.
You've got, I don't even remember all the other games that you've got. Dragon Quest 11. that
Too
you should
many.
have just given to me because you fucking touched it and now you're never going to play it anymore. What a waste.
I gotta just lend you my PS4 account, and then you can play that stuff.
And you're playing Destiny 2.
Oh, and Forza. Don't forget Forza.
Oh, yes, Forza Horizon 4.
And Valkyria Chronicles 4.
I think I made my point.
Hey, but I did beat Mega Man.
Again?
No. But I am
beat
finishing
Mega Man
games.
last week.
I'm finishing games.
You beat Mega Man last week.
So
3 times or 4 times? I can't remember.
Twice. I'm
Okay,
going
you
on
were
my
working
third.
on the third.
Or on
right?
the third.
Yeah.
I'm on Wily's Castle now. So Destiny 2 Festival of Lost, their Halloween event, started yesterday.
Okay.
So I've been playing some of that, obviously, because of that new event.
Masks. There's a new raid.
The masks are there's a new event. What the hell is it called? Something
I don't
Forest.
know. You're the one that was playing it.
I don't know. I can't remember the name now.
The Lost Forest of Souls.
I don't think that's what it's called.
I don't fucking know. I haven't played it.
But yeah,
I'm just
they added
throwing out weird like Halloweeny names for like spooky shit.
there's a couple new events. There's some new bounties.
Is there sparrow racing, or do we have to wait for Christmas for that shit?
No.
Okay.
But it's kind of like it's a timed event. It's 15 minutes. There's like a story mission that sets it all up. A couple missions you go on for Amanda in the tower. You get a guaranteed exotic for doing it. It's just a fighting lion, so it's probably one you had before, but it'll be at a higher power level, which is kind of nice.
What's the fighting lion?
It's like a grenade launcher that uses primary ammo.
Okay.
But it's a single shot grenade launcher. So
Grenade launcher in Destiny 2.
yeah, powerful, but like long reload. But it is primary ammo, so it's not heavy ammo. So it's a neat weapon.
Okay, fair enough.
And then after you do that, she has that new event that you can go and basically farm. It's a timed event. As you kill enemies, it's kind of like do you remember, was it Curse of Osiris? What was the thing in Curse of Osiris with the random levels? What do they call that stupid thing? They kind of pitch it like a dungeon that's always changing, random tile sets.
I don't know.
You don't remember the name? Didn't you ever play it?
I don't know if I did.
Anyway, it's kind of like that. It's little segments that are randomized. And basically, it's a haunted forest. That's what it's stupid called.
See? Told you.
So the Infinite Forest is from Curse of Osiris. And it was like a section of the game that was pitched.
I remember.
It was pitched kind of like, here you go in. There's random chunks of a map that like spawn in
it's randomly
different
generated
enemies.
Every time you walk in.
Yeah, but it just wasn't that exciting because it was different
They're all
areas.
kind of the same-ish.
Yeah, they were.
Like,
it was the same tile set, the same graphics. So it wasn't like you were on Mars and then Earth, and then like it wasn't very drastic a randomized rift in like Diablo, which is what people thought it would be like. It was randomized, but it was still the same locale.
Yeah, it just felt like there was random pieces of the same puzzle just stuck together to get
exactly. So
a bridge from one place to another.
Exactly. So the Haunted Forest is the Halloween version of that. It's all dark and eerie, but it's the exact same thing. But it's
my interest went up, and then down.
It's timed.
Okay.
And it has a counter going up. So as you open new sections, you kill more enemies. It counts up to 100%. And then it spawns you into a boss room with a nightmare boss. And you beat that boss. And then you do it again. And each time you beat it, it's considered another branch.
If you beat that boss.
Yeah, it's not too hard. If you don't beat it,
he's a nightmare boss.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
Oh, okay.
So then you just keep doing it. You keep beating branches until the 15 minutes is up, and then depending how many you defeat, you get a bunch of souls, fragmented souls.
Now it's a gaming podcast.
For those of you who do not have video, which is all of you, Dane just put on his gunner optics.
Yeah.
Looking cool. So yeah, you get so many fragmented souls depending on how many branches you defeat.
Okay.
And basically you trade those souls into Amanda for masks, which is pointless, but I guess if you want
What
masks.
do you get for the masks?
Pardon?
Don't they just
stop
after a while? Can you wear them for a little while and then you got to kind of throw them out because they're useless after
I assume
a while,
these ones stick around because they have buffs, but they don't have a power level associated with them at all.
Right.
So I think they're kind of pointless, but she does have some gear. Mainly, she's got a gun called the Horror Story, which is basically an updated version of the Origin Story auto rifle.
Okay.
And it's power 600. So regardless of your power level, if you farm enough fragments, you can buy that auto rifle, and that would be a pretty significant boost. So she has bounties.
I guess all this is this all content that you have to have the Forsaken stuff for?
I don't think so. I think this is open to everyone who has Destiny. Destiny 2, I believe.
I'll have to log in and find out how much of it I get.
Yeah. So you farm the souls, you get a really powerful auto rifle. It's a new little timed event. I assume it's just until Halloween or after Halloween.
Right.
And there's new bounties. There's new gear, new ghosts, and whatnot.
Ooh. Are they spooky ones?
Yeah. Well, there's like a little kitty cat, and then there's like a little monster thing, and there's new sparrows and new ships. There's like an eyeball ghost.
Well, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, so with the engrams, you get the ephemeral engram plus the other, the new engram. So you get one of each. So where people complained with other holiday events were that if you got, when there was a holiday event, you would get the one new holiday engram, which was like, the cosmetics for that event.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think you had to buy more, or you had...
Isn't that... I'm trying to remember. Is that how Overwatch does it? Or do you, while you're playing, you get more...
You get more. Just chests, like with every level with this.
Okay.
Just like...
And they're the holiday-themed ones?
You get the holiday one and the other one. So you get two, which is kind of cool.
So that's why you played so much Destiny on the weekend.
Well, I wasn't going for that specifically. The holiday event wasn't live on the weekend. On the weekend, I was just grinding.
Being an idiot.
Yeah, I was just, playing, spinning the wheel. Getting my, dopamine fix. Seeing numbers go up.
Watching the numbers go up.
I'm a whole, power level 543 now.
Wow, that's it? That's... I thought you were higher than that for some reason.
It's really slow after you hit 500. But hey, that's why I keep playing.
There you go.
Whereas in the other one, I would have already been at power level cap and so forth and done. So, I don't know. It's not the most amazing event in the world, but that obviously, I think maybe they're offsetting it with that reward.
That's fair.
I'm going to get that gun because that will help my power level quite a bit.
Yeah, that would definitely...
Iron Banner's on as well, too, but I got the Iron Banner armor set last time. So I don't really see a lot of point in putting a lot of time in Iron Banner because they did... put a gun in there with a pretty good roll in his shop if you do one of the weekly bounties.
Isn't Iron Banner where your gear?
Yeah, that's the Crucible where the power level
right, where
makes
your
a difference.
Gear and all that shit makes okay. Everything's not leveled out like it normally is.
Yeah, they don't flatten everyone.
Right.
So depending on
I don't have time to fucking play through and get all my shit up to 600 so that I can finally go play the Iron Banner and not get my ass handed to me.
It's like crack cocaine. I don't know, man. I can't stop. I should, and I know I should, but I just can't. And then, of course, I played some more Assassin's Creed because I was like, okay, you're done. Stop it. You got your engrams. Just stop playing. Play something else. Try and beat Assassin's Creed before Red Dead comes out.
Yeah, good luck.
Speaking of trying to
I guess you could probably quote unquote beat it and see credits.
This Red Dead's next Friday, right?
I don't know.
I think it's next Friday.
I feel like I'm like the only person in the world that's kind of nonchalantly not giving a shit about Red Dead.
You're the only person that's just like, just whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited that I'm getting it for $50 though on an Amazon price error.
It's because every single time a Rockstar game comes out, I get wrapped up in the hype. I play anywhere between 2 and 10 hours of it, and then I fall off so hard, and I never touch it again.
Yeah,
and that's happened to me with every single one except for I think Vice City was the only one that actually
Vice City is pretty freaking good.
Played a shitload of, and that just was also part of like the time and it just. But all the other ones,
the Rockstar games have their. They kind of remind me of Bethesda games. Like they're awesome and amazing and big and have so much stuff you can do, but they also kind of have their little bit of jank.
Yeah, sure.
And weirdness, and it's like I could see you either love it or you hate it. Like the driving's like okay, but it's not amazing.
The other problem that I have too is like for Red Dead, I feel like I want to play that on PC.
Yeah.
But of course, they still haven't announced that there's even going to be a PC game.
No, there's going to be a PC version, but they're going to just wait until I buy it, and then they'll announce it after.
So, the original Red Dead, that's the same thing that everybody said about the original one. It never did come out on PC. It took them a year before they announced Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. Like, I just wish they would say, like, yep, it's coming to PC, but it's going to be way later. We're not sure when. But or it's not going to come to PC. Like, I just wish they'd say whether or not it is.
Because they know everyone's going to buy it twice.
Fuck them. I'm not going to buy it at all just for that. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I'm sure, like, and again, this is what happens for every single time they release a game like this. The reviews come out, it gets fucking 10s and 9s and 9.5s, and everybody fucking raves about it. And then again, I play it. I like spend, I don't know, 2 to 10 hours with it, and then I'm like, and I never touch it again. So yeah, this time around, I'm just like, I got enough shit on my plate to play and to get through right now, and it's, I don't know. I'm really not.
Yeah. The one thing I am glad though is that it is a very different game than everything I'm playing right now. It's not another first-person shooter. The only thing it has in
giant, big third-person action game, kind of like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Yeah, no, totally.
It's different genres, different worlds. It's got shooting. Assassin's Creed is melee. I guess you've got your bow and arrow, but
you're riding horses.
Shut up.
Quests.
Okay, look, Mr. Bringing in logic into my. To me, they're different.
No, they are different. I think it's funny because they're also similar enough that you can kind of like, big third-person open world game. Like you ride horses in both. Like I don't know, it's just funny.
Yeah, I can't.
Especially with games being as expensive as they are. Like, I don't know.
I just know the thing is when it comes out. I'm just scared when it comes out and I start playing it, then I'll stop playing Assassin's Creed. That's why I kind of want to hopefully beat it.
Right, because then you won't go back to it. Well, yeah, it could happen, definitely.
Because I haven't
go back to it for quite a long time.
I never went back to Origins after I beat Origins.
Right, but you finished Origins at least.
Oh, yeah. So in my rush to try and beat Odyssey when I'm probably not even halfway through the game before next Friday, which it most likely is not going to happen unless I pull some late nights this week.
Wow.
I bought the experience boost.
How's that working out for you?
I like it.
Now, I do think it's funny that you could have spent, 15 and get the experience boost and the money boost?
No, I bought them both.
Okay.
I just didn't want to say I was that much of a sucker.
All right.
So yeah, I got the deal.
Enough.
I got them both.
Yeah, because they were like what, $15?
Yeah,
$20 Canadian.
Like $15 or 1,500 Helix points or whatever the hell you call it.
Right, you got to buy the Helix points.
Yeah,
so stupid.
Kind of sucked, but I was like, I don't feel like I was not that I wasn't enjoying playing, but I to be honest, it's like I get like a level, if not 2 levels, every time I played now, whereas I may have gotten a level in every session before. It is quite noticeable because it ramps up pretty quick.
Yeah, because it doubles your XP for everything.
I don't think it doubles it. I believe.
Yeah, it's a 50% XP boost.
Is it?
Yeah.
Whatever.
So
either way, I feel very good about it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm making some real progress. I'm not doing every side mission.
That's the biggest thing. Like, I've definitely fallen off of like the first area I did, like that first prologue area. I did everything.
Yeah, I did.
I did every question mark. I did everything on that map.
I think I did everything in the second and then the third area, and then it's just like, hey, now everything's a lot bigger, and I got a lot more areas.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. The second area I hit, and I was like, and I did the same thing, and by the time I got to the third, I was like, okay, look, I gotta walk away from this because it's too big. Like, I'm gonna spend 150 hours playing this stupid game.
Yeah.
If I keep this up, like there's enough content here, and it's not that I'm not enjoying myself. It's just that, like, I don't know how many play sessions, in all honesty, I played, and I did not move the main story forward
at all. Yeah,
at all. Like,
I did that.
I was
too.
doing side stuff, and I was like, and again, I was enjoying myself. But that doesn't help me finish the game either.
I heard someone was like, I was listening to another podcast, and someone I think said they were like 15 hours in, and they were still just in the first island.
I think I honestly think it probably took me about 13 hours to finish the first, like,
which
12,
is essentially just
12
the
13
intro.
hours. Yeah. Yeah, it was
crazy.
about 13 hours in before I saw the, like, splash page that was like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I was like, holy shit.
What the?
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it still. And I want to play more. When I'm going to play more, I'm going to play tonight for sure. After we're done recording.
On the weekend, I tried to go back and play some more Assassin's Creed 4.
Why would you do that?
I couldn't. I uninstalled it.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I don't.
It's just like I think it's just a game that I've just come to the realization
you missed the window, and
I
now
missed
it's
it.
too late.
Yeah, exactly. And I cannot go back to it.
Games, and it's like,
Yeah. Certain aspects of those games, like that you do, they just don't age very well. And I got so fed up with it. I was just like, nope. No, I would rather go back and play Origins, the DLC in Origins, than deal with AC4, which is too bad because I think AC4 did some really cool stuff.
It was a great game. I don't think I could go back to it either. I'd just rather keep the memory of it being awesome intact.
No, and that's fair. Like I said, I didn't play it back then, right? So... but unfortunately for me, like after Origins, I don't think I could play anything pre-Origins at this point. Like it's just they've changed the formula so much more for the better for the way that I play video games, that when I go back and I try to play those ones now, it just I can't do it.
I really liked Syndicate, and I've always been like, I want to go back to that one, but I haven't found it on a super crazy sale.
Because that's the one you like rented from the library or something, right?
Yeah, that's the one in the UK. With the grappling.
See, and again, I bet any money you'd try to go back to it now, and you'd be like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do this."
Well, it doesn't have the in-depth RPG systems as the new ones, but it does still have some cool. I don't know. Yeah, it might be rough, even though it's still this generation. That game.
Yeah. No, it's. So, anyways, I actually uninstalled it. I was just like, "All right, moving on with my life. I'm not going to bother."
Yeah, the last couple play sessions I had, I've been just doing the main story campaign. I'm like, I got to move this needle forward.
Yeah, I noticed when I was like looking at our side by sides there, suddenly like your experience shot through the roof, and you were like 2 levels ahead of me. But our like we were roughly the same place in the story, or about the same amount of story done. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if he's going to notice that I caught up to him pretty fast, because you were way ahead of me, like almost. Well,
not only that, I still think I've got like 2 or 3 hours, or yesterday when I checked, I think I had 2 or 3 hours still ahead of you. But so that makes a little more sense.
Have you, just spoiler alert, plug your ears if you don't want any spoilers. This is not really a main storyline spoiler, but it's a side mission spoiler, so maybe fast forward a minute.
Okay.
Did you find the chick who sends you out on the hunts?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Have you done any of those?
Yeah, I've done 2.
Yeah. I didn't
which hunts? Like, are you talking about the mythical animals, or are you talking?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about like the first one I did was like the boar.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah. I did the boar, and I've done the deer.
Lion.
There's like a stag or whatever.
Okay, I've done 3.
Okay, yeah, and the next one that I have to do is the lion. I haven't done the lion yet.
I just did the lion, but I can't remember if it was the deer or the lion. But every time I went into the inventory and you go to your quiver, I noticed a bunch of blanks. Yeah, I'm like, okay, there's different arrow types, but how do you get them?
So I've got one other different kind of arrow type.
Yeah, you get them through quests.
I don't know how to change to them in the game. Like, I don't know how to switch my arrow.
Left arrow.
Left
on the D-pad.
Yeah, because I've got another like death arrows or something like that.
I think you get that from taking out that deer.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
So I assume the other types of arrows, because clearly there's like 5 or 6 different types.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch there.
You must get them from other quests.
Yeah,
so I was wondering how to get them because there was no like build poison arrows or build these types of arrows like in the skill tree. So
when you
apply the effect to your sword,
the poison or the fire
arrows or fire poison, But I mean, like to actually just have them instantly. So I assume there's those types of arrows and other types of arrows that I have no idea, because the death arrows are kind of cool. They do more damage.
And then you just make more. That's the cool thing. You just can make more of them. Like, it's not like you have to go find them or anything. You just make them, right?
So that was a neat. And I respec. Did I talk about it last week? I don't know if I talked about it last week. I went all assassin.
Oh, yeah.
Did I talk about that last week?
Well, you were saying that like after you dealt with the spear stuff, you respect. I don't know if you decided to fully respec after we recorded.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But yeah, I'm all full assassin, like hero strike and poison.
Yeah,
doing a crap ton of damage.
How's that work out? Like when you end up in actual fights, though,
it's fine.
Yeah,
I can still hold my weight. I'm still doing decent damage. There's an ability in the assassin tree called Hero Strike.
Yep,
and it does like the way where I have it upgraded. I don't have it upgraded all the way because I have to upgrade my spear to like level 5 to unlock like the 3rd level of it. But it does like 80% of my assassination damage. Well, my assassination damage is like 26,000.
Oh, okay.
So when I use it, it does like 20,000 damage to an enemy. So it pretty much one-shots any regular enemy. It's on a cooldown. I think it's got a pretty decent cooldown, maybe like 15 or 20
I was just
seconds.
thinking like how when you spec full assassin, like if you were to do like like one of the battles at the end, like if you were to go take on one of the battles, like how is that in the different?
My warrior damage
is
my warrior damage is like 1,500 or 1,700 right now.
Right.
So I don't know. I'd have to.
I just mean like because that's the only stuff like I've kind of been fairly doing both all the trees.
I have like my warrior damage maxed out like perk, and I have a couple of the perks from that tree, just not all of them.
Yeah,
I have the overpower. I don't know. I don't think there's much of a drawback to it. Maybe I'm just not as powerful, like, one-on-one straight open combat, but I can take guys out very quickly, and that hero strike ability is insane. So for like the tough enemies like captains and stuff, which you can't one-shot, I can usually at least damage them for half, if not more, with an assassination, and then use the hero strike and pretty much finish them off.
Interesting.
So
like where I'm at level 23, and I'm at a point now where when I do the assassination, but I hold it down. So when you press and hold the assassination button down, it does like quite a bit more damage. I can, as long as they're the same level as me, I will usually kill pretty much anybody in one shot. that way.
I'll kill anyone except for captains.
Like, I've even killed some pole arcs or pole arms or whatever.
Yeah. You might want to look at what level they are.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They were only the same level as me. They weren't higher.
Yeah. With some enemies you can. I know not everything is one-shottable, but I'd say 90% of the guys now are one-shottable, for sure.
Because the only reason I didn't kind of do a similar thing as you is just because I find what I have a difficult time with is when end up in battles, if I want to do like a conquest battle or whatever, and I've got all the dudes all around me all the time. That's where like a lot of the warrior skills come in super handy, just to like grab their shield and smash the shit out of them, like kind of keeping at bay and kind of keeping me alive that way, right?
Yeah, I really like. I can manage the crowd. The group battles not too bad, so I haven't had any problems. I like it. I like playing stealthy. I like sneaking in and one-shotting everyone.
Yeah, me too. That's just kind of my jam. I like to go in.
And then when I F up, then I fight everyone, right?
Totally. But that's what I like about the origins in this game, is that usually when I fuck up, it's not the entire fort that comes after me. It's usually only like a few guys in that immediate vicinity, right? Exactly. Yeah. Whereas you go back and play Assassin's Creed 4, you got the whole fucking town after you.
the whole fort, the whole town.
Yeah, you got 30 guys.
All their cousins and relatives show up.
It's like, fuck, it's brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, that game continues being good.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was listening to another podcast today, and one of the complaints, one of the hosts there was complaining that he was saying that Assassin's Creed didn't feel like it respected his time at all. And it's interesting because I feel like there's a bunch of games that I've played, that I've talked about on this podcast, that I've definitely felt that way about. And I don't feel that way personally about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like, I could understand how people could, I guess, possibly feel that way, because like he was saying, which was similar to you, is he was playing for quite a while.
Yeah.
But depending on what you're doing, you may or may not be leveling up, because a lot of the side stuff you don't get a ton of experience for. So if you're not,
I think that's by design. They want you to do the main storyline, and that's what gives you the most experience. It levels you up, but the side stuff doesn't.
The side stuff is like that little, the little bonuses that you need to fill in,
or it's a cool item or something.
Yeah, you get 3/4 of the level that you need from the main stuff, but they want you to spend like a quarter of the time doing a couple side things to finish that. It was interesting though, because like I said, I wasn't feeling that way. Like, it is a long game and it is really big, but I also recognize that a lot like Origins, you don't necessarily need to go every single place on that map. It's a huge map.
Yeah.
But there's going to be places that you don't need to go if you don't want to go there. Like, the story's not necessarily going to take you to every single island, to every single location, and so on and so forth.
It might.
Well, I know for a fact it doesn't. So, but you know what I mean? But it is easy to get lost if you want. That's but at least for me, it's I can always, like The Witcher, I can always go back, click on my main quest, and kind of get back on track if I want. That's the key.
If you're just, and that's with any big game like this, if you're just doing the side stuff, you're probably going to feel like, oh, I didn't go up a level, or I didn't get lots of awesome stuff. But the main stories for that. That's how they're usually always designed. So
yeah,
it's a weird complaint. I guess if you were just screwing around doing side stuff, making no progress, or just searching around, you're going to, just exploring the world isn't going to level you up. And it's a gigantic map, so you could get time synced.
Huge.
You can get time synced just screwing around, essentially playing for a few hours.
You see those little those little question marks, and you're like, "Oh, I wonder what's over there. Oh, I'll go check that out. I'm not that far away from it."
Yeah, and little bandit
then it's a
camps,
fort, or then it's a bandit camp, or so you're like, "Well, I'm here. I might as well do it while I'm here."
But none of that stuff's going to give you any meaningful experience.
No,
even with the experience boost.
The forts,
a proper fort will, with the big chests and the war chests and stuff.
Because I did one last night and I got I want to say almost 7,000 XP.
Yeah,
for
if it has like a leader or a nation chest, yeah. But like, there's so many small, minuscule ones that don't amount to anything, and then it's like, oh, there's 3 hours, and that's a weird complaint. I guess if you felt like you're under time crunch because you got to beat this game before Red Dead comes out, then maybe that you would feel that way. But I don't know. It respects the time you put in if you put it into the right thing, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was interesting because, like I said, I'm normally very sensitive to that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In video games, and I really wasn't feeling that, and it was a surprise to me because this individual really, really liked playing Origins, which so did I. Like, it was my favorite game of last year, and last year was a huge year for like amazing games. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of surprised when like. Yeah,
I remember Origins getting pretty grindy at the end there when I got to level cap. But
yeah, the last little bit of that game definitely.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I hate wasting time, like, or playing something and just like not getting anything for it. Like, that's always lame. Like,
see, and I never really feel like that is happening to me in Odyssey. Like, I feel like there's lots of things that I'm doing, but there's always, if there is a cave. There's chances are there's a cool weapon in it, or chances are you know what I mean,
or you're like taking out notches of the big, taking out cult members, or like that all contributes to the long game, right?
Oh yeah,
when you get the full dope ass armor set, right?
Yep.
Like, I spent some time in one of my play sessions. I completed the Eyes of Cosmos.
Yeah, that's all the ones in Attica.
I think a good percentage of them are in that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I finished that one, so I got like a full armor set.
That's
which
rad.
is an assassination poison armor set, right?
Nice.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
I think, that's tough with open world games. It's like my brother, like, I don't think he's ever beat a Grand Theft Auto game, because all he ever does is steal a car, run over people, get up his star level to like 5, and try to avoid and survive as long as he can.
Yeah.
And then it's like he's never beaten the game. I think he actually beat GTA 5, which is I think the first one he's beaten in a really long time. But like any other one before that, I don't think he ever got past he enjoyed just screwing around.
Yeah, to be fair, the Grand Theft Auto games for me have been terrible at keeping me keeping me focused on the main story, because they're the games that are trying to get me to do all the other side shit. Mm-hmm, hey, go on a fucking date, go bowling with your friends, like go pick up your buddy after work and like have a beer, play darts, like a lot of the other open world games, that's all optional, but they're like, yeah, this is the main story, keep doing this or keep going doing that. And all the Grand Theft Auto games are all like, hey, Nico,
do some races,
come play. And it's almost like they try to take me away from the main story in those games, and that actually drives me crazy. And that's probably for me why I have a hard time with them.
That's a huge challenge with all open world games, right?
Totally, it definitely can be, which I think that's the key thing that like The Witcher 3 and the Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins do for me. Is like, it's easy for me just to go, okay, I want to do the main quest, click, okay, where am I going, what am I doing, and it's easy to get back on track, that I don't feel like that I've never felt in the Grand Theft Auto games. Like, it's like, I'm doing the main story, but then I have to do like, oh well, you got to do one of these 3 side quests before you get back to the main story, and it's like just all that kind of stuff that for me it's like, oh, well, okay, I'll go do this one, and then I get sidetracked over here, and they don't do a very good job of like, hey, you gotta come back to us.
I think
so.
Odyssey, that also has to do with like the quest log, right?
Sure.
It highlights, here's the main story quest at the top, whereas is there even a quest log in Grand Theft Auto? It's just kind of like, the main
like cell
quest
phone, and you kind of like
the main quest givers at any given time, which moves the story forward. But it's not the same kind of thing where you got 1 million people, right?
Yeah,
and then it's like, but it's not like these are the 3. This is the main campaign here. I can't remember how GTA 5 did, but I think that's another reason that like. Whereas Odyssey, it is easy to remember. Oh yeah, well, forget that shit. Let's click here, and I'm back on the main track.
Totally.
Where I should be appropriate for my level, appropriate for where I am progression wise, and then I can pick up new side quests and get like if you left it and came back, it's easy to do that.
Totally.
Whereas with a lot of open games, like where the hell, who is the quest? What quest chain was I on?
Yeah,
that's
what's
like,
amazing about The Witcher 3 is like I've been taking forever to get through that game, but yet whenever I jump back in it, because I'm like, oh man, I want to play some of that, I jump back in and it's easy for me to go like, okay, cool, that's that's what I'm doing. That's where I got to go. That's who I got to talk to. Like it's easy to get back on track, even if I haven't played it for like 3 or 4 months.
One thing I will say about Witcher 3 is it probably has the side quests are like fantastic in that game.
I know.
They're not throwaway. They have like cutscenes. They have proper voice acting. There's some great content in side quests that you might never see or do. Whereas a lot of games side quests are just go kill this thing, come back, go do this thing, come back, and they're over like flash in the pan.
Yeah, or there's like 1 or 2 that are good, but the rest of them kind of suck. Whereas like The Witcher 3, like there's so many amazing side quests that you kind of almost don't want to miss out on, which almost gives you a bit of FOMO.
Yeah. Get back on track here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Odyssey's good. Open world games are awesome.
It is very big though.
I've been playing some Black Ops 4. I played some Blackout.
You played some Bobo.
I didn't play
Black Ops.
I was like, wait, Bobo.
So Bobo.
I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I played some Bobo. Yeah,
some Bobo.
Man, that's a fun game.
That's a Rebel. Those are the Rebel FM guys. They're totally. They came up with that. So
did they?
They said send it out into the world. So Black Ops is Bobo. There you go.
It makes sense. Sounds dumb, but whatever. PUBG sounds stupid too.
There you go.
That's a better version of PUBG. I really like it.
Is that predominantly what you've been playing? The Bobo mode?
I haven't played a lot of it, but I played a few more rounds of it. I've been actually playing the Specialist HQ. Okay. Which is kind of like the wannabe single player training mode. Basically,
I've heard about this.
It gets you playing through all the different hero characters, because I guess the big thing that's different about this Black Ops is multiplayer is you have the hero characters with their abilities. And of course, you can do your loadouts with your different guns and so forth, which you can with any character. But like your base abilities depend on which specialist you're using. So this mode has cutscenes which seem like they could have been ripped out of like a single player story, which are hit and miss.
Probably were.
Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are pretty cringe, like bad military acting, overacting. Some of them are really graphic. Like really graphic.
I also heard that.
The first thing actually when you launch the game, it's like, do you want to enable graphic content?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, sure. And it's like literally like first cutscene, someone gets like shot in the face and they like show you the damage.
Ugh.
And not like a quick flash. Like it's on the screen for a while.
It's very visceral.
It's a video game
from what I understand.
It's a video game, so I don't find it as gross as if it was an action movie. But if any action movie showed this scene, it would be a hard R movie for sure. And it's not just that. There's like blowing limbs and gibbing that can be quite graphic and bloody. But especially in some of these pre-rendered cutscenes, it's like, wow, that's pretty violent. Which
you think
but the Black Ops games are kind of known for that.
Yeah, I mean, all of the they've been doing that since what was it was it Advanced?
I don't think any of
the second one.
I don't think any of the Infinity Ward ones are as graphic as this, though. But anyway,
my point is they already had
they've had
that disclaimer, and I almost wonder if they're like, well, shit, we got this disclaimer. I mean, we got to fucking use it. So
let's do some shit.
I guess we just It's a multiplayer only game.
Oh yeah, they
now,
do some
shit. We'll make some cutscenes and we'll make everybody go
some face shots and head shots and limbs getting blown off and blood splurting. And they're like, okay, cool. Those are hit and miss, like I said, with the acting quality. Some of them are like, oh, yeah, badass military machismo, you know, like, and then it's just like, ugh, that's terrible, like cringeworthy. But yeah, they train you how to use the characters, which is kind of cool, like in little maps, like this is how you use these grenades, bounce them off here, this is how you use their super ability. And that's neat. And then it like puts you in like a bot match so you can practice up. That game's pretty, and it plays really well. Like, it runs so smooth. Like that's the one thing, I don't know, Call of Duty just kind of nails. Just the speed and silky smoothness is just so nice.
You playing it on PC or
on PC?
PS4?
On PC, and it, and there's no double jumping, there's no wall running. It's just gadgets and kill streaks and.
Talking about all this makes me want to reinstall Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 is pretty awesome, but that's got the grappling hooks, and it's different, right? This reminds me of good old. This kind of reminds me of good old Modern Warfare. A little more futuristic, obviously, with some of the gadgets and stuff. But everyone's on the ground for the most part. Apparently, there's
or sliding.
There's a hero with a
grappling
hook, which I heard people have been getting annoyed with. And then I've also gotten killed by a stupid freaking dog ability. I think one of the heroes has a dog that basically it's just like a freight train that charges you and you're dead instantly, but you can unload on it, and it's like, I'm bulletproof dog.
Yeah, I remember that from the beta.
So, but I like it and I want to play more, but there's so many goddamn freaking games right now. It's killing me.
First world problems.
I kind of feel like I wish this just came out like at the end of November or something. Or in a few more weeks, then I would have more time to dedicate it to it.
Don't they normally come out in November?
They normally do come out in the first week or second week in November. That's true. I don't know why. I guess they put it ahead of Red Dead. And then Battlefield delayed into November.
Yeah, they're the end of November. They delayed like a whole month.
Which seems like nobody's like... I haven't heard any or felt any hype level for that at all.
Yeah, they're starting to finally, I think, push it a bit more. I've been hearing and seeing a bit more things about it online.
To be honest...
Seeing as they hitch their cart to the NVIDIA real-time ray tracing horse...
Yeah.
I mean, because I've been reading and following the new video cards and stuff that they've been releasing, there's been more talk of it in that aspect of it.
I guess with all the cards finally getting to people.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's still a month, about a month away.
But it looks like that part. That's the funny thing, is that aspect of those games isn't going to be ready at launch by the sounds of it.
Actually, I think there might have been like a single player trailer that got released soon.
Yeah, today they released a single player trailer.
And to be honest, I think until Black Ops launched this weekend, I didn't really feel a lot of hype for it. And then, of course, on Friday, my Twitter feed blew up with people playing it.
Right. I can see that.
I like it. If you're into the multiplayer and are sick of the World War II vibe, but also sick of the wall running and double jumping at the versions before the World War II version.
Right.
Plus, you've got, I don't know, I think you've got a pretty excellent Battle Royale mode. I didn't even touch zombies. Me and Teacup played a lot of zombies in not the last one, but the one before that. Zombies is always fun. And this one's got
something I'm never interested in those games.
The most zombies content ever. I haven't even touched it.
They should have taken that time and made it fucking single player.
I can see from some of these cutscenes, I can see where I think this stuff is all ripped out of the campaign.
Oh, it absolutely
is. Some of it feels so disjointed too. Like, they're trying to make a story with all these specialists and over. I don't really know what's going on, but you can see like this seems like single player cutscene. Like this is the motivation for whatever they're doing. Like
apparently in the continuity, this was supposed to be slotted in between 2 and 3.
Yeah, I never played 2, and I can't even remember 3. So
yeah, 2 was really good. 3 is the one that got all super weird, and it was all in your head, and
it was all a dream.
Yeah, 3 was kind of shitty. Like, it was fine. It was fun and stuff, but it was just like, as far as a story goes, it was kind of
yeah.
So,
yeah, that's it. I'll play more. I'll have more to report on zombies and whatnot next week. I'm sure I'll peel myself away from Destiny and Assassin's Creed and try to play some.
Fair enough, I guess.
But it's dope. It's Call of Duty. I didn't think I was going to care, and it's like, now I'm kind of like choked that no one else that I play with really has it on PC right now. So because that would force me to play it. But you played some Dauntless?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned a big update happened over, I guess, on the last week.
So they dropped like a big update. I mean, that game is obviously an open beta, so lots of changes happening all the time. But they dropped their repeater gun update. So they dropped a new weapon in the game, which are essentially 2 pistols that you shoot.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun.
They're pretty cool, actually, because they have ammo, so they have to reload. If the closer you are to the animal or the beast, the behemoths. So it's funny, the closer you are, the more damage you do. So it tries to get you to get in close with everybody else to do that damage and to make that stuff happen. Because when you're too far away, you're not really doing much damage. So that's kind of a unique, because I was curious how that was going to work, because if everybody like most of the behemoths, you kind of have to be close. If you're just going to stand like away and plink away at them, like you're not going to do a whole lot of damage. So, and that's exactly kind of how they work that. If you're standing back, just shooting at it, you're only going to be doing like a very small fraction of the damage that you could be doing. So they got like a whole series of quests where you get your essentially level 1 gun. And instead of doing like with the other weapons in the game where you build a set of weapons, and then when you unlock like new beasts and so on, and you can build like new weapons and new armor off from the new beasts. In this one, what they've done is you actually can upgrade your pistols with different like buttstocks, different receivers, different barrels and things like that. So like you can, as you keep playing and you unlock stuff, you can unlock a scorch barrel, which does like fire damage, things like that. So like, and obviously like it increases in damage, and so it's not just, but that's kind of the way that they're taking it with that particular weapon, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I really like them. They really work well for the way that I play. They've got a primary fire that you have, I think, 12 shots, and then they have a secondary fire which does like a big kind of attack.
I'm watching a video right now. Is it like a charge shot?
Yeah, it's kind of like a charge shot. And it takes a second or two in between, like to, so that you're not just like blasting off a whole bunch of them, and
they don't auto lock on, right?
No, you have to aim. And then you also have another ability that you can throw out an item that will increase your it'll increase attack speed and movement speed briefly, and that is also on a recharge. So you can do it for yourself, or you could also do it for your teammates. So essentially you want to be throwing those out there in a support role to try and get as much damage happening as you can with your teammates as well as yourself. But no, those are like, they work really, really well.
So just like a new vendor, a new quest, and you go pick them up, or?
Yep. If you're after you hit a certain level, you go talk to the one vendor, and he gives them to you. It's a different vendor than the weapon smith. He's the same guy that gives you. I want to say you talk to him. He like as you start playing, he gives you a quest before this one, so you've talked to him at some point already. And then it also unlocks grenades as well that you can build. So you go pick up items in the world, and then you can come back to him and he'll build you different types of grenades as well. So it's kind of a secondary way that you can do damage outside of, and it's a per use item, similar to like your potions and your salves and things like that. So, that game's shaping up really well. I really enjoy it. It is definitely like we've said before, kind of Monster Hunter light. But I feel like they're like really fleshing it out and going in a cool direction, and I really enjoy playing it. So, yeah, so I got sucked into, oh man, I don't even know how many hours of that on Sunday when my wife was playing Diablo and had the PS4
tied
so
up.
I couldn't play. Yeah, so I couldn't play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I was like, shit. So I was playing that. Is great. And yeah, man, like,
I want to try those guns out. That sounds kind of fun.
They're really fun. I really like the way they play. So yeah, and it was cool because it wasn't like there was a bajillion people. Like there was definitely more people using them because they were the new hotness or whatever. But and that game's still fairly easy to find, like groups of people to play the different maps and stuff with. Like that was the one thing I was kind of worried about once you get into, you know, the different hunts and things like that, trying to find a group to do the specific hunts and so on and so forth. But it seems like I didn't wait for more than like a minute or whatever to like find a group, and
the matchmaking
it's coming along really well.
Long when we were doing it.
Yeah. So,
all right. I guess with that, I think we can get into some news. What do you think?
Talk about some news.
Time for some news. The news. Free-to-play Assassin's Creed spin-off is out next month on iOS and Android. I believe
this
that
really came out of nowhere.
Well, I think they mentioned it at E3. But
it's kind of like chibi looking.
Mm-hmm. I believe
Assassin's
it was
Creed
announced
Rebellion.
at E3, but I was flying or landing in LA when the Ubisoft press conference happened, so I missed it.
November 21st.
Yeah.
So you're establishing a headquarter and growing an army of assassins so that you can infiltrate the Templar strongholds. It's a bit of a base management, but it also is a 2D side-scrolling game.
Yeah.
Similar to the Assassin's Creed Chronicles game.
I'd be interested to check it out because I can't remember.
Yeah.
Ubisoft has some other mobile games, but this is feels like the first real mobile game based off one of their AAA franchises. That's like a real game, kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, it comes out next week. It looks kind of neat. I will check it out.
It's very... Be curious. It's kind of got like a chibi look to it almost.
Yeah, I think it looks...
It's all cutesy. Kind of a neat look.
It looks cool. I tried watching the trailer, but then I for some reason, all I get is stupid freaking ads.
Yeah.
I guess my ad block doesn't work on this website. I'm getting an ad for Assassin's Creed Odyssey while trying to watch Assassin's Creed Rebellion.
Could be worse. You could get a Centrum Multigummy commercial.
So November 1st. Pre-register now to get special rewards. Assassin's Creed Rebellion.com.
Huh. Yeah, it's kind of a neat, neat looking game. Yeah.
I don't know if it's any good. It ain't here yet, but...
Yeah, November 21st.
Might be worth checking out. Apparently, Destiny 2 Forsaken didn't come with the previous expansions. I guess if you didn't buy certain versions.
So in other words, if you...
I guess if you had Destiny...
my understanding is if you bought Destiny 2, but you didn't buy any of the expansions, but then you wanted to buy Destiny 2 Forsaken, you had to go back and buy the expansions before you could buy Forsaken.
Yes.
And starting next week, they're changing that so that when you buy Forsaken,
this would really
it just comes with everything else.
I guess this would really affect people who started playing Destiny 2 because of it was free with PlayStation Plus last month. And then you're like, oh, I'm done Destiny 2. I want to play Forsaken. Oh, I got to buy all this other crap? I want to just play the new thing. So anyway, they're retroactively going back, and if you bought it before this Tuesday, if you bought the expansions, they're giving you some loot and shader and some emotes. Not gonna lie, I can't help but
feel like it's kind of a shitty.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb because they did have the super duper version that of Forsaken 2, like the full retail version that did include all the expansions, which was kind of like, really, guys? It should just be included. But anyway, I feel like this is like a result of a lot of people getting pissed off that came over from playing it on the PlayStation Plus deal.
Yeah. Well, it is pretty stupid, though.
It is stupid,
like,
obviously.
If you bought the game and maybe decided that you didn't think that the other expansions were for you, and then you're like, okay, cool, I'll get Forsaken. That seems like a pretty big, good ball of content. And then you're like, oh, I can't buy Forsaken. Like, wait, what? I gotta buy, this is stupid. Like, I'd be probably pretty choked about that, personally.
I would be pissed.
So, yeah, I'm glad that they're rectifying that. I feel bad for the people that maybe went to do this and realized that, and they were like, no, fuck that, that's stupid.
It would be better if they gave them their money back.
Like, obviously, yeah, at that point, they're just like, well, they're not gonna get in now. But yeah.
Fortnite is now available on any Android phone, so you don't have to be in the beta or wait for an invite. I'm quite
fair enough.
Surprised. I never got a freaking invite for that. But yeah, you can download the installer and you can get it from, I guess, Fortnite's website. So there's instructions. There's a link in the show notes to story on with those links if you want to check it out on Android. I was like, I put it on my Switch, and I think I launched it once, so I'm kind of like, I don't think I'm even going to bother putting it on my phone.
I'll never play this.
Yeah, well, that's imagine. It. It's like the temptation. Oh, it's free. It's cool, real game.
I can't imagine trying to play that with my phone controls, though. Like,
PUBG was okay on mobile. I assume Fortnite's probably the same, if not better. But yeah, it's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know.
I feel like the better mobile version's already out there, and that's the one on Switch because it has real controls. I'm sure you could sync controllers to your phone, but I don't know, I just haven't had any desire to play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Just kind of done with it. I'm like, whatever.
Definitely not on my phone. There's been a few times where I've considered downloading it on my PC, but definitely not on my phone.
After the HD apocalypse, I don't even have it installed. I probably won't even install it again.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll play it again. I had my fun with it, and it's like, I'm good. Yeah. So anyway, if you want to try it on your phone, you can now on Android. There's a new premium retro console built specifically for Sega enthusiasts. Introducing the Mega SG. This is from retro console maker Analog, who made the Super NT, which is a premium console designed to play Super NES games on a modern...
Right, so just for anybody out there that's curious what we're talking about, this isn't an emulator. This is actually designed for you to put, like, I mean, the one that we're talking about, the Super NT, you actually put the Super Nintendo carts in it and play your games. It's essentially a Super Nintendo that's designed so that it's got an HDMI out and it's made to be used with modern televisions.
Low latency and excellent visual quality. Like, that's the big thing is these guys strive on the visual quality of the... And it's not emulation. It's hardware playing these games as you remember them. So if you don't
have, the Super Nintendo physical copies of those games, this will not help you at all.
These guys...
but this is like a similar thing now that they're doing with the Mega SG. It's designed to play all the pre-Saturn Sega games, including Mega Drive, Master System, Game Gear. That's kind of crazy. Mark III, SG-1000, and SC-3000, and more. That's pretty cool. So you can drop in. It's even possible to connect a Sega Mega CD to the unit if you happen to own one. The only pre-Saturn console not supported is the 32X. Right now. It also includes wireless controllers, which is pretty rad.
Yeah, these guys do firmware updates and add features and whatnot. They make a pretty dope kit for like retro. Like if you're gonna play your old school games, like you want to play them on one of these systems.
Well, because these are running full FPGAs, right?
Oh yeah, they're
like these aren't like crappy emulated bad. Like these are like full. So like an FPGA is essentially an integrated circuit which is programmed to perform just like the original hardware was. It's like the closest you can get to building a Sega or a Super Nintendo or whatever nowadays without actually going to Nintendo and saying like, hey, we want to license those like chips off of you or whatever to build now. This kind of allows them to get around that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really neat.
The big question with this that I would have is like, how's the audio? Because like, let's be honest, this like the Sega Genesis and stuff, that was one of the big things that it had over the Super Nintendo, is like the audio chip in that thing was so much better. So I would hope that it. So many times I've played things that try to emulate those consoles, and that's the one area where they always seem to like get it wrong, is the audio always is never quite as good.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a Genesis kid, so.
Oh, I definitely had one.
I had a Genesis. I was just a Super Nintendo. I just loved the Super Nintendo more. I'm pretty happy with my classic editions. I don't really feel like I need to drop a bunch of money, but if you like the cartridges, like I know a lot of people do still have their old cartridges and want to play the old games that way. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm happy with an emulator and a bunch of games, or a classic version like the Super Nintendo and NES. And
I'm super curious to see like some of the more connoisseurs of these types of things, like Jeff Gertzman, and I know what's his name, Peter over at GameSpot. They're both like big time into kind of like the FPGA and trying to get as close to that original console as they can. I'm super curious to see what those guys, if they get their hands on this, what they think of it, because this FPGA stuff is really cool because they can be reprogrammed for various.
Well, they have, you can add different cores. That's why this one's kind of like a multi-system.
Yeah,
and apparently
they can be reprogrammed depending on what you tell it to do for the different consoles.
Apparently,
right?
the Super Nintendo version, people have added other cores to play other Nintendo systems. So they're a pretty cool piece of kit. I've seen them and been like, oh, that's very tempting. But
they're not cheap, though.
No, they're not. They're not cheap at all. And I also don't have any physical cartridges. And I'm kind of like, nope, don't do it. Don't do it.
Like, these are $200 American, just about.
Because if you do it, then you're going to get sucked into that world of buying, cartridges. And then I'm going to start collecting cartridges. And I'm going to start wasting money on really expensive rare games, and it's like, no, I have.
Next thing you know, you'll be buying Neo Geos and Neo Geo carts, and
it's like, no, I'm good. Let's just stay out of that. I have my classics and my minis, and that's good enough for me. And now I have Nintendo Switch Online, where I've been playing my NES games on my Switch. I've been playing Super Mario Brothers 3 on that, which is kind of hilarious.
Oh, that's fair. Super Mario Brothers 3 is amazing.
So there was a really cool story that came out last week on Vulture. Have you ever heard of this site before?
I don't actually think I have, to be fair.
I think I've seen them before, but I don't think video games is really their main thing. I think they're like a movie website and more entertainment.
Okay.
But I believe they're like a New York site. Anyway, they had one of their writers who went to Rockstar and got to interview, I believe, Dan Houser. He's one of the execs, founding member him and his brother basically have written every GTA game, and the original Red Dead and whatnot. And they're the big head honchos. Like, these guys don't do interviews. They don't do publicity shots. Rockstar doesn't go to E3 because they don't need to.
They don't even really they don't even do much for the press.
Yeah, so this interview is really pretty major.
It's a long interview.
Yeah, it's an awesome story. So it's about the development of Red Dead Redemption 2, some stories and info about Rockstar itself, the Hauser brothers and whatnot. It's cool. It's an awesome read. I read this story. I'm like, sweet, that's amazing. Out of this story, though, there was some conversations, or specifically, Dan Hauser made comments about, working 100-hour weeks on Red Dead to, we've got so much voice animations and lines of dialogue, and the game's this long, and yada yada, blah blah blah. And then it's like, a bunch of websites picked this up out of the story and like, 100-hour work weeks. Hey, that's not cool. That's not something everyone should be happy about. That's not like a badge of honor, like taking advantage of people, for whether they're actually paid overtime or if it's like royalties, who knows, whatever, it doesn't matter. People guilting each other into, oh, you're going home at 5? We're all staying here and ruining our family lives and whatnot to work on this game. And it just brought the whole crunch dialogue back into everyone's circle the last few days.
So this was super amusing to me when this came out, because the last Red Dead Redemption game, Rockstar essentially had a whole bunch of the wives came out and did a big open letter to Rockstar and did similar to the EA wife thing back in the early 2000s. They did a similar thing, and Rockstar was in hot water because the wives of game developers before Red Dead Redemption came out were put them in the hot seat, saying we haven't seen our husbands. The crunch on this game is insane. What the hell's going on? Why is this a thing? And Rockstar had a whole PR nightmare on their hands just before the last Red Dead Redemption. To see Dan Hauser come out a week before this game comes out and even mention 100-hour or 50, even 60-hour work weeks.
These guys don't do interviews.
I honestly, when I heard this, as somebody who's old enough to remember the last time this happened with them, especially
the EA wives or the EA spouse story, and
yes, I just shook my head. I was like, even if that is happening, as you are who you are, why in the fuck would you even mention that? How would that even come out of your mouth? You would say we're working really hard, we've had some long days, and you continue on from there. You don't fucking say we're working 100-hour weeks. You would have to work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week with no days off. You're oh.
So he's speaking to Kotaku has tried walking it back, right? I was just speaking about just the four of us, the writers. Any additional effort for other staff members was a choice. No one had to do that or was forced to do that, and it's then
to be honest, his statement is weird. I read his statement and I was like, that is one of the weirdest things I've ever read. So check this out. He's like, there seems to be some confusion arising from my interview with Harold Greenberg. The point I was trying to make in the article was related to how the narrative and dialogue in the game was crafted, which was mostly what we talked about, not about the different processes of the wider team. After working on the game for 7 years, the senior writing team, which consists of 4 people, Mike Unsworth, Rupert Humphreys, Laszlo, and myself, had, as we always do, 3 weeks of intense work when we wrapped everything up. 3 weeks, not years. We have all worked together for at least 12 years now and feel we need this to get everything finished. After so many years of getting things organized and ready on this project, we needed this to check in and finalize everything. More importantly, we obviously didn't expect anyone else to work this way. Across the whole company, we have some senior people who work very hard purely because they're passionate about a project or their particular work, and we believe that passion shows in the games we release. But that additional effort is a choice, and we don't ask or expect anyone to work anything like this. Lots of other senior people work in an entirely different way and are just as productive. I'm just not one of them. Not one senior or junior is ever forced to work hard. I believe we go to great lengths to run a business that cares about its people and to make the company a great place for them to work. It's such a weird statement, the way like it ebbs and flows, and he's talking about passion 1 minute and then he's talking about we never force anybody to work hard. Like like you see your boss in the other room working 100-hour work week, and you don't think that the employees are going to somehow feel somewhat obligated to at least like work a 12-hour day or a 10-hour day? Like, yeah, there needs to be something that needs to change in the video game industry, because I don't think that this is something that can continue on and on and on and on.
It's a culture thing that's just ingrained in it. Oh, if you're not working, you're not putting in extra time, you don't care about the passion project, you don't care about the project, you're not, like, it's terrible. It's so messed up. It's like a mind it's a mind trick that the CEOs and executives and managers totally get to take advantage of these people without forcing them to do. They don't force them to do it. Everyone in the industry forces each other to do it, because if they don't do it, the next guy below you who will do it for less money and who will kill to take your job will do it. So then if you don't do it, which is not forced by any means, but if you don't do it, there's going to be someone to replace you easily and quickly.
And that's
sad.
It's
I don't know how you could have a real life. Like, I couldn't imagine being married in that industry.
We're burning game developers out, though, right? Like,
burning people out. You're ruining families.
You're working 100-hour week that you're only getting paid for 40 of. I mean, I'm assuming. Like, to be fair, I don't know.
That's the worst. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, like, they're getting overtime and royalties. But like, let's be honest.
But are they? How many of them are there? Like, sure, I'm sure these guys.
Dan's
there
getting
for 12
millions
years
and millions of dollars. Him and his brother.
Exactly.
All four of those guys, they're getting paid for every second of every 100-hour 3 weeks that they worked. But the guy who did 100-hour weeks for a year, the last year, he's just getting the same wage. Like, well, they make.
I'm assuming he's on salary, but still. And, like, there's a difference between, like, I get it, because, like, as somebody who works doing what I do, I definitely have a tendency sometimes to stay late. Not necessarily, and, like, I'm salary, so there's no incentive for me.
And it's not that you want
work
to.
late.
It's once in a while because something goes sideways.
Sure.
Not every day.
Or sometimes, like, I have a tendency where, like, I'll just be working on something and time gets away from me, and like everybody starts to leave, and then it's nice and quiet, and then I kind of get into my project, or I get into something and I just don't even really think about it. But like, that's not, like, I don't know, like, on one hand it's different because it's not like I'm sitting there crunching away working like crazy. Like, it's usually at that point it's kind of almost on me, like this is a side thing that I'm just kind of putting a bit of time into, or like something like that, right? And yeah, like, I don't know, it's just like, you can't work like that for that kind of time and expect to not like just burn people out. Like, I don't know.
This would just never fly if there was unions, but there's no union in this industry. The problem with this industry is it's to be honest, I feel like it's so cutthroat. It is super cutthroat. They contract out so much work. So it's like a prestige thing to have a Monday to Friday payroll job.
You totally do.
Any developer.
Because you could have 100 people working at your studio that are actually employees, but you could have 300 people that are actually at that studio.
Yeah.
But the other 200, they're all just contractors and subcontractors and working for temp agencies and all this stuff, hoping that if they put in 100-hour week, you're going to notice and you're going to want to hire that person because they did a good job or they were a hard worker and so on and so forth. Like, that shit's messed up.
It is messed up.
It's not fair.
No,
like,
and it's these CEOs, executives, and managers are just taking advantage of this. I don't see how, like, the fix. I don't think I don't know if unionization is the silver bullet, but
I don't think it's a silver bullet, but I think it would definitely help.
It would help, but
sure.
I feel like I don't know how you. With such a,
it's a culture thing. Like, I think you really hit the nail on the head, though. Like, it's a culture thing, and I think that the problem is that people getting into the industry, they're taught that from the people that are training them.
Yeah.
And then they're perpetrating the same thing over and over and over again, right? That's how I was taught to work, so that's how I'm going to teach you how to work. This is how people bill projects. This is how the salespeople and like the team and the executive level, they say, okay, well, we can build that game in this amount of time. When really, that's part of the problem as well, is like, it should be taking us longer to build games because games are hard to make. And instead of crunching for 100-hour week, we should be, that should be given an extra.
Yeah, the game's going to take another year.
Yeah.
And you don't start these news cycles of PR for a game a year or like 2 years before it's out. You start it a year or less than a year from it's out when it's like in the final stages. Like,
yeah.
No, you show this stuff too soon and then it's like, oh, we got to crunch. Or you just are forced to crunch because of peer pressure. And it's like, oh, we have to do this. This is the way. Yeah. I know I would quit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no amount of money would be worth if I had to do that, if I was forced. Like, where I work right now, I work in a union. If I'm a minute over, I get paid overtime.
Yeah.
And, like, when shit hits the fan, they beg us to come in and they give us overtime. But it's like, I don't have to sit there because I'm peer pressure because someone else. No, I'm just obliged to do my Monday to Friday. I'm not looked down on for going home at proper quitting time.
Yeah.
If you sit around and do overtime, yeah, you get rewarded. And clearly you're violating labor laws. You can't work that much time. There's a limit on overtime. Even if you do like working all the time, there is a point where, like, my one friend that I work with, he's maxed out his overtime. And he can't do any more overtime till, like, the end of the year.
Right.
So, like, even if he wanted to, he can't do more.
Yeah. I mean, like, I do get that there are people out there that are just workaholics. Like, they, maybe they don't like their home life. Like, I don't know. Like, they're like, well, I gotta go home, and
enough is never enough, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
I don't know what the fix is. I know it's just gross because the thing is these people that work so hard are not the ones making the majority of the money. Like,
no, I mean, look at how many billions of dollars Grand Theft Auto 5 has made. And do you think the people that built Grand Theft Auto 5 saw much more than their regular salary?
No, and to be
maybe
honest, if
bonuses?
they paid them more, they all would be gone because they would all quit and retire. But there is no, like, even distribution of wealth off that title. It's all goes to executives and a corporation, faceless corporation.
The publisher at the top. Yeah.
And it's all made from taking advantage of everyone at the bottom who has the fear of loss of losing their job if they don't do it. It's optional.
It's forcibly optional.
Yeah. Voluntold is what I like to call it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They volunteered to do it. It's just gross. What an idiot. Like you said, though, what an idiot for even making that comment. I don't think his backpedaling is any better. And
if anything,
But it's like, his like, how do you fix it? Like, hey, we know there's a problem. So me and you work at Rockstar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't like this, but like, okay, me and Dane are standing up and we're going home.
Right. We're gonna not have a job tomorrow.
Yeah, like, what are they gonna like?
They're gonna just replace us.
They'll get rid of us, but then, like, how do we fight the uphill? Like, how do you fight that? Like, we get a lawyer.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we were working our shift. Our shift's like 9 to 5. Well, they weren't meeting their goals and they're this and that, so they weren't doing their job. So, like, they're falling behind. Their HR is just gonna wrap it all up with a bow to make it look like we weren't doing our job, when in fact we were just doing our job just fine. But the job doesn't account for the way real time works.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, so how do you start? We know the solution, but, like, are you the one with the mortgage or the condo payment or the rent in some of the most expensive cities in the world? San Francisco, LA, New York, where a lot of these big studios are, and you're going to be the one that's going to put your neck on the line to change it. That's the problem. They know they've got everyone by the balls, and it's like most other companies. It doesn't just apply to video games; it applies to a lot of fields out there and jobs. Yeah, and they just know it's just a losing battle because, like, okay, I'm going to put my neck on the line. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my livelihood that I'm used to. Maybe it'll change things, and maybe it won't. But then it's like I'm the one I'm the martyr. Like, it's so hard. They know they've got everyone by the effing balls,
and it also, depending on the state that this in, their labor laws are very different depending on state to state. Like I know my wife works in what they call a can work state, which essentially means that the workers themselves have almost zero rights. They can more or less get fired for any real reason that their boss decides, and there's not really much they can do about it. They don't have to get paid severance. Like so that's the other aspect, is like it really depends on where they're at. I believe this team is in Texas. I want to say this team for Rockstar. I mean, so I have no idea what their labor laws are like, but
it sucks. Yeah. I wish there was I know the fix, but to get the fix implemented would be so hard.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be enough.
Because to be honest, if you get rid of
people that need to band together, and they all need to stand up and say, like, look, this is fucked up. Enough is enough. This is ridiculous. And
and games go from taking 3 years to 4 years to 5 years, which is I'm just fine with. There's already enough fucking shit to play that I ain't gonna die if stuff gets spread out more.
Absolutely. If it meant that people were able to work in a healthy environment,
I think they
can work an 8-hour day.
I think crunch has got to go. It's ridiculous. I don't like it.
At least this kind of crunch. Like, it's one thing to work 10-hour days. Like, a couple hours extra for a little bit at the very end or whatever.
It's not uncommon for a week for a big project or something, right?
Sure.
But a year, that's ridiculous. Come on.
Yeah. No, it's... And yeah. Anyways. Moving on, because...
yeah, exactly. Discord launches their game store, beta worldwide. It was, like I said, just a beta available to certain people. Now it's obviously...
I got my updated terms of service.
Yeah, it's... it was previously launched exclusively in Canada. That's kind of funny. We were part of the test bed.
Surprise.
I didn't even notice. So $10 a month, library of 60 games. I guess games that are going to be added and cycled in and out. This is above and beyond their whole first on Discord thing. That's separate. That's their exclusive PC games. But
right.
These are this is like their Game Pass or PlayStation Plus Gold, or PSN games and games with gold, but for PC. So yeah, $10 a month. I guess it's all right. I don't know. I still feel like Humble Bundle is a pretty dope deal. $12 a month, and you actually own the games. But they got some really.
There's too many services, man. They're all nickel and diming me every month. Like, at a certain point, I gotta throw my hands in the air and start okay.
Too many services.
Who am I gonna cut? Like every month, I just I just recently cut a couple of services because I'm it just. It doesn't sound like much. Hey, $10 a month, and then by the time you get to the end of the year and you pay $10 a month for Netflix, you pay $10 a month for this, you pay $10 a month for Games Pass, you pay
a year.
Exactly. Suddenly, it's like, oh man. So
Discord is pretty sweet, though. I really like Discord. So
yeah, me too. It'll be interesting, to see what they do differently. Like, why would I go with them over Games Pass or whatever, which works on PC as well as PS or Xbox One, right? Mm-hmm. So what are they going to do that would make me want to pay in every month or whatever? But
I doubt I will subscribe to that. But there's some good games coming to it, like Dead Cells and Hollow Knight.
That said, it's always good to see
some competition
in that space. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nintendo news: Diablo 3 is getting its own limited edition Nintendo Switch bundle. the game.
Yeah, I saw that.
Stand.
That console looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the console is pretty standard, except for it's got some Diablo artwork on the back of it.
Looks cool.
The dock has like actual like artwork on it, more so than just the console itself. Like the Joy-Cons don't have any art or anything on them. It comes with the full game, the exclusive Ganondorf armor set, a carrying case. Not a bad bundle. If you're into the Diabs and haven't picked up a Switch yet.
It's cool. I like it a lot. It looks neat.
When does that come out? November 2nd. It's a GameStop exclusive, so I assume EB up in Canada here.
Yeah, I won't be buying Diablo 3 on a third platform.
Mario Odyssey got a new Mario outfit. I just bring it up because it's Halloween themed. It's kind of funny.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Mario looks like a zombie with an axe in his head. Looks kind of creepy, actually.
Wait, I thought he was dressing up as Luigi for Halloween.
I think that was a joke of the headline because Luigi's dead.
Oh.
From the Smash Brothers video.
No, you're right.
I think it's just
that
free. I think it's just available in the store if you log into Odyssey and go to the outfit store. My mouse is not working. What the heck's going on? Weird. Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
You may have seen over the weekend, there's some people panicking news going around about a PlayStation message that was bricking consoles.
So soft brick, not a hard
people
brick.
Kind of jumped the gun and like, oh, it bricks the system. Really, just if you did have it happen to you, you just had to rebuild your database from safe mode and you would have been okay. It was basically a malformed text message, which is similar to like a fault or exploit that happened to iPhone a while ago, where it actually screwed up your consoles or your phones.
Yeah, in those cases, it was a big deal.
This has been patched out.
Is that what this 6.02 or whatever patch that just got dropped
they fixed
yesterday
it.
was?
Anyway, you could get around this is if you did get a message from someone you didn't know, you could delete it using the cell phone app, and then you would have been fine.
That's a good idea.
Change your messaging to private or just friends only, which would have been, I guess, the story came out because some people, I guess, were playing, was it Siege or something? And then their whole crew got message from someone, and all their systems went down, and they're like, oh man, what the hell?
And the other team won.
No, I think it was after the match. I assume that was a loser who sent them that message.
Oh, it's a dick thing to do.
That sucks. Thank God it was just like not an actual brick. If it was like a real brick of your system, that would have been real bad.
That's the kind of stuff that I look at and I go like, really? How in the hell did...
Yeah. I don't know either.
Yeah.
Xbox news. The latest Xbox update is out. Brings back Avatars. Support for...
That's what we needed.
Support for Alexa, Cortana, Dolby Vision HDR. If you're in the... What do they call it? The testing beta circle or whatever the heck they call. You've had this for a while now. Like I think I've had this for a month or two now on my Xbox, if not longer. How many times did I launch or use it? 0. But hey, Avatars are back, man. They're cool. Dolby Vision's interesting considering that pretty much HDR10 has like won the battle. But I guess since you got Atmos, you may as well throw in the Dolby Vision as well.
Hey man, I think that the two of them are going to live simultaneously because Dolby Vision is the better standard. Kind of like how, you've got Dolby Digital and DTS audio, right? They're both kind of competing standards, but one of them's a little bit better than the other one, but they still live kind of together. I think that's what's going to kind of happen here.
Oh,
I think it's just,
and it only works with TVs with the newer version of Dolby Vision. So older televisions like 2016 with Dolby Vision may not work.
Yeah,
that's pretty poopy. If your TV's branded Dolby Vision and it doesn't work with this, I would be really upset about that.
Yeah,
that would piss me off. That's why stupid standards and different. So annoying. Anyway,
why is it even a standard at that? Like, yeah, that's a piss off because if it,
Dolby Vision should be Dolby Vision, right? Like that doesn't make
so apparently they're saying like at the end here it says when TVs were originally enabled for Dolby Vision, gaming consoles weren't part of the HDR ecosystem. Since then, some TV manufacturers are working to implement support for Dolby Vision on game consoles, and Dolby is working with TV OEMs to update current TVs in the market.
You may or may not be able to get a fix.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a different thing. Like, I kind of get it. Dolby Vision still works on those TVs with, actual HDR content in Ultra HD movies or TV channels or whatever. But it's a different thing when it comes to like the consoles. So either way, it's still rad though, because that allows the Xbox One to be the only console that supports that, because the PS4s they only support HDR10.
Yeah, HDR10 sucks. What?
I don't know. My cell phone supports HDR10 and it looks pretty cool.
I think it looks just fine. I think that's why it's one, because it looks good enough and you don't have to pay a premium for freaking Dolby.
Yep.
That's it for news, my friend. Let's get in some public service announcements. Reminder, because we needed more goddamn shit to play next week. The first DLC is out for Spider-Man. The
3 new suits, baby.
The Heist DLC with the Black Cat. Is it Black Cat?
Yeah. Black Cat's awesome.
Yeah, it's $7.99 US or $24.99 for the season pass. There's 3 new costumes. They showed images to them. Or suits, I should say. And then obviously,
these suits look sweet.
I don't know how good the new DLC is because it's not out yet.
Yep.
But man, I want to pick it up, but I haven't touched Spider-Man in a while, even though it's so amazing because so many goddamn effing games.
Yep.
I was hoping to platinum that before this came out, but
Hey man, there's a Christmas break coming at some point, right?
Seriously. Reminder,
Before
Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Yeah.
Demo's out now. I was talking about it last week.
Yeah.
So if you have a PSVR and we're interested in checking that out, the demo is out now. That game's really cool. If you have a PSVR, I recommend you check it out.
I got actually a few PSVR things I need to jump in and play because, man.
Oh, yeah, you sent me a code to Evasion, and I haven't even installed it yet.
I know, me neither. I feel kind of bad. I want to check that out.
Dane?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's a show, ladies and gentlemen.
It is, episode 177 is in the gigabits and in your ear holes. You can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF. You
can always come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, follow YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We don't ask for much, but those little likes and subscribes help us just grow our attention sphere. And of course, the most important payback anyone out there can do is if you do happen to have an iPhone or Apple device, Apple Podcasts or iTunes on your Apple computer, feel free to leave us a review. That would be fantastic. I think that's about it. Dane, unless you got anything else to add?
Nope. I gotta go play some video games.
Yeah. I can go play some Assassin's Creed and leapfrog you some more with my experience doubler.
Bastard.
Only if I can get a coin doubler in real life.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Until next week, I'm going to say we're out.
Catch you guys later.
Peace.